Culinary Works, I have a great appetizer to prepare for you guys today. It is roasted shrimp with Italian salsa verde. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is season the shrimp, which I have here. The shrimp has been peeled and deveined. Now, one thing I wanna point out with the deveining is that you only have to devein the top. Sometimes people think they have to devein in here, the underside. You don't have to devein there, just the top, okay? So just a nice little slit across the top, make sure it's nice and clean. All right, so shrimp is ready. As it's prepared, we're gonna add some olive oil. This is just regular olive oil in this situation. We don't need extra virgin in this for this case. So you're just gonna be roasting it in the oven. It's not necessary. So it's a fair amount of oil. We're gonna do some salt. This is kosher salt. So one little sprinkle, that should be plenty. A little bit of pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of spice, right? A little bit of back of the throat spice. Okay, now next, and the really important ingredient in this particular recipe is gonna be some lemon zest. So we have a microplane zester that we're gonna use this one to give us a quick stir. Put this aside for now. Okay, so we're gonna zest some lemon here. Now, I use this microplane and I hold it on the top here, and then I just bang the zest right in, okay? So we're zesting, zesting, zesting. Zest is such a powerful tool, or ingredient, I should say. It works so well and it gives so much flavor to a recipe. And also, and you're not using the juice. Sometimes you don't necessarily want the juice. Like in this situation, we really wouldn't want the juice because the juice would be too liquidy and it would almost want to steam the shrimp, where we just want to roast it and get like more of a dry roast, not a wet roast. All right, so now another thing when you're zesting is you really only want to use the yellow. You do not want the white because the white's a little bitter, so just the yellow. And that'd be the same thing for a lime, for an orange, for a lemon. Same rule applies. Okay, that should be plenty of zest. I'm gonna give it another stir. All right, looks good. Now I'm looking at this and thinking, okay, so I want to see the pepper. Like, okay, do I see the pepper? Does it look glistening, like there's enough oil on it? Remember, shrimp is pretty much fat-free. So you need to add, the fat there. And I see the zest. Obviously, I don't see the salt, but I know I was pretty generous with that. So we're gonna put it here in a roasting pan. Okay, now, this would not be what you wanna do, right? Put it like this, as you can see, because if you did it this way, it would have been way too close together. So you really, really, really want to spread them out so that they all have space. And given the appropriate amount of space, they will roast better. Okay? So these look pretty spread out. They're not on top of each other. You want a single layer with a little bit of breathing room for them to brown. Okay, looks pretty good. So this is going to go into the oven and roast for about, I'd say, 8 to 10 minutes. Depends on the size of your shrimp. If you have really big shrimp, they're gonna take longer. Small shrimp, they're gonna be quicker. All right, so I'm gonna put those in. All right, and now we're gonna start on the sauce. The sauce is great. In the summertime, we actually use this sauce with fresh tuna. We sear the tuna and put it on a crostini and put the sauce on top. That is delicious. We love that one. But for now, we're gonna do it with the shrimp. So our ingredients are gonna be fresh parsley, lemon zest, lemon juice, capers, anchovies, garlic, crushed red pepper, and olive oil. So first thing we're gonna do is chop some parsley. I always like to do this in my classes as well, the parsley. We love to work on knife skills. So with the parsley here, I'm gonna gather it in my hand and make a nice tight ball, stems and everything. I cut off the bottom stems, but for the most part, we use the stems. It makes it easier to chop as well. So it's a nice tight ball here. And with my knife, I'm gonna do this forward and down motion. And just using towards the back of the knife. You don't need this huge exaggerated motion here, just a little motion just like this. We're almost finished here. And then you can go through it one time as a rough chop. Again, towards the back of the knife. In class, when I usually come around kind of behind people and help them with their knife, and I have them really exaggerate, the back of the knife, and then when you hear it when I'm chopping down, and they're like, oh, I get it. It's a little bit of an epiphany. It's pretty cool. So I'm lucky I get to do that. So okay, you can see here the parsley still looks dry. If your herbs start to look wet, then you've chopped them too much. So you don't want to do that. Okay, so there's our parsley. So we're gonna do some more lemon zest. Lemon zester here. Again, zest is super powerful as an ingredient. But in this case, we do want the liquid too, so we're gonna do the zest and the juice. On here, all right. Looks like we have about the right amount of zest here. All right, so we're gonna move on to some anchovies, capers, and garlic. Anchovies, I can already hear people saying like, oh, anchovies, what? No, it's fine. You can't really tell that they're in there. They just kind of add a little bit of texture and a little bit of that kind of that complexity of flavor. So I'm gonna go with like 3 anchovies there. I'm gonna go with a little pile of capers here. I'm gonna add those right on top. Either capers, like the bigger ones or the smaller ones are fine, doesn't really matter. Okay, there goes our capers. Okay, so we're gonna give these a rough chop here. Chop them up, chop, 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 keep going. Actually, you could probably make this dish and not even tell people that there were anchovies in there and they wouldn't know. In fact, don't tell them. You'll be better off. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Looks like it's chopped enough. Now, the other thing that you could do with this dish too, to make it a little faster, if you were in a hurry, is you could put it in a food processor or a blender, but you would get a different result. It would look more kind of creamy. This result's gonna be a little bit more rustic looking, so either way, it depends on how much time you have on your hands. So in goes our capers and our anchovies. Okay, and next is the garlic. So our garlic cloves here. Okay, 2 good sized cloves. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so with our garlic, the easiest way I tell people with the garlic is to take the heel of your blade, with the heel of your hand, and give it a good whack. Sometimes people like to kind of like push down on it. I really don't feel that works as effective. I really think you just, you know, give it a good whack. I know it's nice and loud, but that's what you want. You really, what you're doing there, just separating the skin from the clove. All right. All right, so I think 1 clove might be enough. All right, so we're gonna give this a rough chop here. And that's gonna go in. Just put a little skin there, we don't want that. Okay. And we're also gonna add the juice of the lemon, as I mentioned before, and extra virgin olive oil. This is definitely a case where you want the extra virgin olive oil because it's gonna add a lot of that olive fruity flavor. The nutritional benefits that extra virgin olive oil has too. And we're not cooking it either, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, garlic looks good. So the garlic's gonna go in. Okay, so just to repeat one more time what we have in here. So we have the capers, we have the lemon zest, we have the parsley, we have the garlic. We're gonna have a little bit of crushed red pepper. You want a little element of heat, just because that's gonna add a nice little, another complexity and flavor. The juice, we're gonna have our juice here. Grab our juicer. These are great tools if you have them. And actually the funniest thing, every class that I have, I'll give it to people, it's like, okay, it's like a little test. Here's your lemon, and I put it in this way. Because it looks like you should go this way, right? It's just okay, that makes total sense. So in my mind, it makes sense, but it's actually very counterintuitive. That goes this way, that way. What? I hear it. So anyway, that's the way it goes. Do you see all that juice? These things work tremendous. Great for cocktails too. Okay, got a little skin there. We don't want that. Okay, all right, give this a little stir. All right, so now we're gonna add some extra virgin olive oil like I spoke about. And you want this to be saucy. So you're gonna add a fair amount of olive oil to this. All right, it's looking pretty good. Looks very rustic. Again, like you can see the garlic, you can see the, well, I don't want to say anchovies in case somebody gets scared, but you can see the crushed red pepper, you see the parsley. Now what I'm gonna do is just taste it with a little piece of bread, because that will give us a sense of how it tastes. Just like when you're making salad dressings, I tell people to taste it with a piece of lettuce. Give a sense of if we need anything here. Good. It's the lemon, the garlic, the anchovies, everything. Delicious. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'd get a little bowl with your sauce here. All right. Pour that in there. Take some shrimp that we prepared earlier. You're gonna layer your shrimp on the tray. I do like to keep the tails on in this situation because it's a little, it's easy to, a little tool there to pick it up. So you don't have to use a toothpick or anything like that. All right. This looks nice. And I think this is a nice little, it's a different situation than if you did the cocktail shrimp with the cocktail sauce. I think this is just a little bit fancier. Not a lot of effort, just to repeat again what we did with the shrimp. We deveined it. We seasoned it with olive oil, salt and pepper, just regular olive oil, lemon zest. We roasted it in the oven. And it comes out like this. And then you have your little sauce that you can dip on just like that. And then give it a try. I'm gonna take a quick bite. Julia Dean, Culinary Works, thanks for tuning in. I hope this makes sense. I hope you try this at home. And remember, it's all in the experience.